सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Yes, those of you who can turn on the video feeds, you are most welcome to turn on the video feeds. It is much more easier to interact that way. So we are now continuing our journey, Gita Talks. Today's topic is something very interesting, divine dialogue. If we see essays on the Gita, you can see this. The next chapter is actually the chapter on Kurukshetra. There's a very interesting connection between Kurukshetra and the divine dialogue. Would anybody like to share something about it? Because today's entire discussion would be focusing on this topic only. Yes, please. Anybody? Kurukshetra and divine dialogue? Yes, Shashiji. Yes, please.
I just wanted to say it's the whole life lesson is learnt or what's the right word, taught on the battlefield. And like I always think, that is a visual battlefield, but that lesson applies to all of us in our own personal life on an individual basis. And it's a two-way street, like two-way dialogue. It's a dialogue, two people talking, Lord Krishna.
If it is one way, it is only a monologue, no?
Yes, absolutely. So it's a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. And like I said, it applies to all of us on a daily basis. When we struggle with ourselves or others in our actions and thought. So really, it's our own Kurukshetra as well.
Ji. All right, Shashiji. Anybody would like to add to what Shashiji has said? We are at war, are we, in life?
Absolutely.
Shashiji says we are at war. How many of you feel that? Or how many of you feel there is no war? Right now, I have a wonderful couch, a good AC. There is no war going on in life. Yes,
Yeah,
Rakhiji.
always at war.
How do you say that, Rakhiji? What is that war?
Because there's always a conflict, and that conflict which arises because of the choices that we have, and the mind goes here and there and everywhere. So it's a continuous battlefield, mind
Okay.
battlefield.
Yeah, just a little bit. I would like to get more understanding on this, Rakhiji, but I just wanted to confirm you are referring to even war on the home front also, isn't it? Or you're talking about outside,
War in me, as in
including.
in every individual. uh, it's a war inside. I'm not talking of the war outside. War, it's like, the war inside, in the sense, in my mind, because of the conflicts and the choice, because of the choices that I have,
Hmm.
which gives rise to the conflicts.
Okay. No, because there is probably a duality inside, or the choices that are coming. Should I take this? Should I take that? And sometimes even
Yes,
this war enters into our discussions also, isn't it? With
yes,
people. Means
yes,
that is just not completely intrinsic also.
yes.
One person, an elder, had advised me not to keep the Gita in the house because war will take place. That was the advice.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, they say don't keep Mahabharat because it's, like, the
हाँ,
war,
घर में
it will lead to
महाभारत हो
war.
जाएगा. Now, the question is all those people who have taken this wonderful security step of not keeping the Mahabharata, Have they got a guarantee of being living a conflict-free and war-free existence, Rakhi? No, no.
No, of course not, because there is fear. So
Yeah.
fear again will fear can never lead to bliss, anyways.
Yes, out of fear you cannot scare someone onto the path of the
Yeah.
spirit also, or you cannot scare someone to do something and be continuously confident of a long-lasting or even truth. But this aspect of conflict which is there, the inner conflict, outer conflict, that is perfectly described in the Gita. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, how beginning is itself. This is a Dharma Kshetra also. It is also the Kurukshetra. You are upholding the Dharma. The war is to uphold my Dharma. Everybody has one individual Swadharma, isn't it? Individual Dharma, my Dharma towards myself. Each individual, and if you see, you try to identify what is the individual's Dharma, sometimes it becomes so complicating. It becomes so complicated. I mean, it's like one individual, say, I want to stand by my ideal. Yet somebody else's ideal is pushing my ideal here, somebody else's ideal is pushing it here because we are in a cohabitation, isn't it? Even if we are living a single life, a single building, you are anyway connected. You go somewhere, say you go for experiencing a joy, or say you go to a shop. Maybe you just want to have an ice cream. You go to that shop happily. Your dharma is now your for your swadharma, you are thinking you are doing that. Suddenly there only the shopkeeper only passes a snide remark. What's going to happen to you? You are immediately going to, hey, what is this? You are now coming in, you are entering. There's an intrusion taking place. So something like that, little points, everybody, and sometimes the students swadharma towards self, towards the teacher, towards my friend, towards the mischievous friend, towards the good friend, towards the one who is helping me, towards the one who is attacking me, towards my own personal idea of what is truth to me at this moment, towards my idea of truth, what is something I want to manifest or I want to experience or I want to realize. All these questions actually it's like a full khichdi and chaos going on at any given time. And that is where our Krishna's Gita comes in. Arjuna was going through an outer war as well as inner war, just like all of us. But we are not going through that exact outer war like Arjuna, which is literally, but if you look at the symbolism, we have it. Say, go to our workplace. At your workplace, you want to work in collaboration with somebody. You will have to, when you are collaborating with people at your workplace, you will have to channel your forces and work together in tandem. But if the forces are only canceling out on each other, what will happen? You are at a constant state. With simplest work, you will not go one step ahead because there is conflict. So, conflict at every point of time. That is why it is important to first establish that yes, there is a conflict. Unless you realize that, you will not be able to resolve it, isn't it? And Krishna, how does he resolve the conflict is the big question. He has with him a lot of strength, a lot of wisdom. He's got experience. And frankly, he's God. So God has got everything on his side. Somebody must be thinking it's just easy, isn't it? Hey, I have now people you see now a nuclear armed state tries to say I have nuclear weapons, I have nuclear weapons, and it is something what now the government of India has said we do not want to. We will never fall to nuclear blackmail. That is true. But when Krishna takes out his Sudarshan Chakra, there is not a single force in the world that can stand in front of that. And yet, what are the weapons that Krishna used in the war of Kurukshetra? What were the weapons? His own Narayani Sena he did not use for his benefit, for his agenda, taking forward his divine will. Rakiji?
Uh, the divine knowledge.
That he always had, no?
Yeah.
But
So
how did he use that divine knowledge?
through Arjun.
Through Arjuna. Yes, yes. And through what? Through monologues? Yeah, I'm giving
No,
you lectures.
no,
Don't you
through
interrupt me, Arjuna. I'm going to
through
tell you the way
through
which
a
is going to
dialogue.
transform.
Through a
Through a
dialogue.
dialogue, isn't it? And was that an ordinary dialogue? Which is like, they say in Hindi, there is a saying, Raat gayi, baat gayi. What happened is over. Don't ask me
Hmm.
again tomorrow.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
sometimes get drunk and
This
in
was
their
an
high state.
eternal dialogue.
This is an eternal dialogue. It is what we can call divine dialogue. It's not a dialogue just like that, and it is definitely not a monologue also. So before we go into what is this divine dialogue, because divine dialogue is something which is something beyond our general talks. But first we must come onto the level of human dialogue only before we go to divine dialogue, isn't it? We need to first establish what is the right human dialogue, because Arjuna is the, like we say, we want to understand about the great Guru Krishna. First understand the Shishya Arjuna. Get into Arjuna's consciousness. Krishna will come and give you a hug, and he will just transfer his wisdom just like that. So if we want to go to that state of divine dialogue and understand what divine dialogue is, why not let us talk about what is human dialogue. Anybody? What is a good human dialogue? Ideal human dialogue can be called divine dialogue only. Closest, whatever is ideal, we can call it divine. So let us, what is a good human dialogue? Anyone?
Listening to what the other person is saying.
That's so difficult, no? Many times.
Very, very.
Yeah.
But if one is intent, one is serious, that
Hmm.
one wants to sort something out,
Hmm.
then not to have a fixated idea about what I'm going to say. If he says this, listen, think, and respond and act accordingly. It has to be a constant two-way thing.
Yeah, yeah. Fixated ideology is not of much use, isn't it? Because you are not going to add to anything because your mind is already fixed. I have already decided this is this person. He is going to come now. I am going to speak this to this person, and this is what I am going to say. There is no feedback mechanism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rakiji, you were adding something to what Shashiji said.
Yeah, actually, it's like, in a dialogue, uh, one has to be open-minded and
Mm.
open-minded to the extent that, okay, the other person, it's like if I like the other person, I receive what he's saying. If I don't like the other person, it's very
Hmm.
difficult to receive what he's saying because my mind is in tune to his channel. It's like that.
Acha. Okay,
So,
Rakiji.
yeah.
But can we like everybody?
No, yeah.
So we will end up
That is
listening
the,
only to the people we like, and even if the people we don't like speak
mm,
truth, that truth will not come to us, isn't it?
yes, yes.
So
It
probably,
is quite like that, you know.
but it happens
Yes,
unknowingly,
yes, yes,
unconsciously. We don't
yes.
intend to do it, but by
Yeah.
nature, by what Krishna says, a software which is installed inside of us without our agreeing to terms and conditions or consent, some software of Prakriti has been put inside of us. Because
Hmm.
that software is put inside us, we have no option. I have my Swabhava, I have my Prakriti. I will listen to
Mm.
people I like. When they talk good, I will listen to them. Sometimes even the people I like, they talk what I don't like. I'm going to close my ears and say this person is changed or I don't like that person. So that is one limitation if we listen to only those whom we like. Yeah, Vijaya ji is adding something? Yes, please.
Ji, namaste ji.
Yes.
Apologies for joining late.
No, 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 please, no,
Um,
please, no apologies. I should say apologies for conducting it 3 days late then.
no worries. See,
Yes, yes.
see, one more thing I was just thinking of what is human really dialogue is. Either the one of the two, basically dialogue has two people, one of the two should be in a position to make the other person receive it. So in training, we tell that before we start a lesson or a training module, we make sure that the mindsets are in the receiving mode. If not,
Acha.
no matter who is around, it doesn't go inside. If you take Krishna and Arjuna, and Arjuna started polemifying, I would say, lamented
Hmm.
everything in the first chapter. So he was like, he didn't have anything else to say. He was tired, but he was ready. And
Okay.
same with in my experience, if I see the way I perceived Krishna before a lot of ordeals was totally different from after those ordeals. And every time you read a particular thing or experience, my way of seeing Krishna's words are getting different. So this
Okay. One
guna is there.
question.
Yeah,
Vijayari,
please.
one question. You said the person, we have to make the other person ready, isn't it? Uh,
Ji.
Now that is good for Krishna because Krishna is grooming Arjuna, no?
Yes,
Or
Ji.
or if of some trainer is training the students. If some trainer is going to like your entire your aim and aspiration is and that person is enrolled into the academy for training, there you can make that person ready, isn't it?
Yes, Ji.
But
In case you want to
but
say
what if
something,
but what if it is not a person who has enrolled into your academy only?
then the trust works in my experience, Ji. If I really, as you rightly
So
said,
will you be
trust,
able to make the mind of that change the mind of the person before the dialogue?
it depends on the situation, Ji. At the same time, if I want to, I can try. And if it has to happen, it will definitely. But
There
few
Krishna
people I
has
have
to come
seen,
in,
Ji.
no? No, there
Ji?
Vijayaji alone will not work. If Krishna works
Yeah,
and does his, otherwise
definitely.
it will be my own. I think Shashiji wanted to add something. Is it in the middle?
I just wanted to say that
That's all right.
um,
Yeah.
sorry, I just wanted to add that when one is having a conversation, a dialogue, and if one wants to listen to somebody, the first thing, and it is important, is to get out of your own way. The ego should not be part of the scenario, because when we're discussing or having a dialogue, a conversation, then it is very natural for human. All of us have ego at some point. So it's a
Hmm.
constant monitoring. Unless one says, get the ego out of the way, then you can concentrate on what somebody is saying. Because
Somebody
it's
else
quite
is
natural
saying.
for the ego to peep in and say, hold on,
Hmm.
they can't be right. So once
Okay.
again, you have to police yourself constantly
Hmm.
and just
Aha.
focus on what's being said.
Okay. Okay. So this because Mana Buddhi Ahankar is all part of a Prakriti installed into our software by Krishna. He's saying it. I have installed it. And how does that make people? It makes people move like instruments. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani maya. Yeah, this is my maya. Suddenly a person thinks today I am king. Whatever I speak is correct. It is my anubhav. It is my anubhuti. It is my sakshatkar. All these factors. Sometimes people get realizations or semi-realizations, and semi-realizations become a source of ahankar. Today God is talking to me. That means now what I speak in Maharashtra, a lot of saints, some of them reached such great heights, but there were so many who did not reach those heights. But they said, my words, because I have memorized the Shastras, through me only the Shastra speaks. What I speak is what God's dialogue is. That is Ahankar, and it comes very quietly. It's like a shadow of a human being. Actually, it is a shadow. Meaning, anybody who says I don't have Ahankar is actually the Ahankar speaking that I don't have Ahankar. So now this becomes more complicating. It's like Rakesh said, means we have to be careful about people we like and we dislike. And now we are also using the like I think Shashiji said, constant policing of ourselves. So
Uh,
human dialogue itself is in a way appearing quite challenging to have. Where now we'll have to first establish the ease of human dialogue before we proceed to what is the divine dialogue.
Yeah,
But this
just
is a
to add to
yes,
what
yes,
Vijaya's ji said,
yeah, yeah.
that's actually very kind of very true in the sense that the you have to make the receiver also ready.
Hmm.
In the sense that Swami Vivekanand, when he delivered speech at Chicago, initially people were just not ready. Uh, they just thought that sadhu from India,
Based
what
on his
would he?
appearance.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
right. But as soon as he started speaking,
Hmm.
th- everyone was awed by
The opening,
the use of his words,
the
the
opening
way
and
he,
invocation
yes,
of
yes. So
brotherhood, and so there.
brothers and sisters, yeah. So
Yes, yes.
I think that also, so for that one has to have the right knowledge, uh,
Okay.
compassion, courage. uh,
Compassion is important. That is the most
yeah,
important because courage is fine. Courage is all right, but compassion for the others.
Yes.
Here he saw the kinship, isn't it? Because knowledge sometimes will lead to I have got the knowledge, the I becomes more important than the knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
The knowledge has come to me. I am the owner. I am the adhikari. I have the experience. I have done this. I know this. This I becomes very strong. But I think Alpanaji had written Karuna Bhava. That is something special. Alpanaji, would you like to add
Yeah,
something?
yes, because see, Krishna knew that he had the power to, transform his student, but the student should be ready. And for that only, he showed a lot of empathy, the power of silence also. He listened to him completely.
In the first
Then
Adhyaya,
slowly he guided him through one and other
slowly.
layers of his
He
mind,
didn't
slowly unfolding
he didn't say
one or
go
the other
Sankhya
truth.
Yoga chapter 55 and 56 you first read and then you come to me from Sankhya
No, he
Karika.
said that.
Or he did not say all of that, isn't it? He slowly lifted him with
Yes,
love, isn't it?
slowly. And
Slowly
Karuna
lifted.
Bhava was there. I
Karuna
want to
Bhava.
help this man, but he has to be first ready. Then only I can help him. That is what even
Yeah.
Krishna realized. That a human being is so powerless and helpless, and I have to bring him to some level first.
Yes,
And he
yes.
did it really great, great dialogue.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Alfred. But one thing is so beautiful. If you see Krishna's Karuna Bhava is so beautiful that he says, Arjuna, be like me. He
Hmm.
gives
Yeah.
example to Arjuna the God gives the example to man that, hey, be like me. You are just see, I can do it, so you can do it. Means he has
Yeah.
given equality. The Lord of Yoga, Yogeshwara is also the Lord of Samatha.
Yeah.
If you see the
Humility. It
great
shows his
yogis,
humility. Correct.
yes, yes,
Hmm.
the humility. You see great yogis. You see Sri Aurobindo himself when he talked about the highest supramental manifestation, he said this is the manifestation which is to be, which can be reached by anybody else also. I'm creating the path, and maybe once this is established, the ground will be for something higher. But the fact that this invitation is open to everybody, the opening is so beautiful, it is because of the Karuna Bhava. This is the divine's perspective. But the human perspective, Krishna has told that you are like me. And when the human starts thinking, I am Krishna, what happens then? I had a very interesting dialogue in Bangalore where editor of a big magazine, I'm not taking the name of that magazine, he had a very interesting expectation from me. Number one, he wanted me to touch his feet. If I knew that, I would have done it. It wouldn't make me small. But I had gone as a messenger of an organization, so I did not want to do that. Indirectly, he kept prodding once, twice, and he then began casting aspersions on my character, on why I have come here, and then I do not understand things. And because I did not take his help, he said, unless a child cries, even the mother cannot help. He was creating the ground, like I think Vijayaji told in a different aspect, to create the mind for a dialogue. But here somebody is creating creating a ground for me to become. He is wanting me to say Sishtasteham because probably he has taken literally that he is himself is Krishna and I am the Arjuna who has come to him. He wants to give me all the Sakshatkar, all his Vishwarupa Darshana or whatever darshanas I had never seen. And the interesting part was, he was actually, I really was very surprised how it happened because normally when you are an author, you are well respected by the editor because he had taken a contract of publishing an entire series of my writings for a full year. And at least I just went to pay a courtesy visit. But that dialogue became, it kept on descending lower and lower. This person had a preconceived notion, and he even said this direct statement to me. You are not able to see the Krishna in me. Because when he said, he said, you have come with a particular agenda. Nobody comes just like that. Something I said, see, my guru told me to go and I'm going. And maybe what will happen? Krishna's wish. He said, why you are not able to see Krishna in me is what his direct question was. Now, Krishna has only told, no, become like Krishna. But becoming like Krishna, Krishna has given the invitation. How many of us have received the invitation? How many of us have taken the step to go ahead is a big question because we have a shadow of Ahankar. How many of us have no shadows? I don't think anybody. Every human being has a shadow. We go anywhere, our shadow follows us. Like that, Ahankar follows us knowingly or unknowingly. So many times we must be careful that we should not start feeling that divine is working only through me. Divine can work through me just as he can work through every single person. He can work through an ant, he can work through an elephant also. The outer aspects are nothing. That is very important because it was very interesting because the dialogue kept going down and down and down, and he said, "You are not looking into my eyes while you are talking," because he was trying to get me into a dialogue, and that shows that there is no truth in your heart. Now, till this point, I was quiet. When this point came, I said, "See, sir, I am not looking into your eyes because I don't agree to what you are saying." Then he raised his own hand as if he is strangling himself. He said, "You have too much ego." And he said, he asked me to get out. While I was going out, I said, "Is this Krishna asking me to go out?" That made me made him angry. Probably I just left the place because he would have come with a stone or something else. I don't know. But we have to be very careful. We are not grooming people when we are having dialogue. Two friends are going watching a sunset. Are you going to have an agenda to speak? Or Krishna is going to set the agenda of your conversation. When both of your wavelengths are together, you are at such a beautiful, quiet state of reception where who is talking, who is the one who is speaking, who is the one who is listening, that bhed only disappears. Then it's a very free and happy dialogue. It is what we call the best human dialogue, where nobody is just only trying to do one side's view and another person is trying to push. One person is trying to fight it, another person is trying to impose it. Most of the clashes happen that way. And as I think very nicely said by it was Alpanaji, I think the first adhyay, you see Arjuna kept on speaking. He was provoking Krishna to speak something. He was provoking Krishna continuously, saying ki Krishna mitra droha kulakshaya varna sankaraha. So many such accusations he went on to even accuse Krishna. Was it for the desire for wealth? Was it for the desire of wealth that you have fought? Who is he talking to? His Sarathi. He has sought his blessings, he has sought his counsel, his advice, and he is the charioteer, and yet he is asking the same charioteer, was it for wealth that this battle is being fought? Completely forgetting what Krishna has actually done. So many times he has tried to prevent the battle. His own Narayani Sena is on the other side. All these facts were lost. My single question is, why does this happen in human dialogues? Arjuna's first Adhyay dialogue is not divine dialogue. It is a human dialogue only in the first Adhyay. What Arjuna speaks to Krishna is what a human being who is frustrated or depressed or governed by the lower human emotions speaks. And that is not truth. And that is why Krishna is listening quietly and not giving much importance. Because until that nature leaves, until Arjuna becomes receptive, there is no point giving Brahmagyan also to such a person. He will waste that Brahmagyan. It's like giving water to a thirsty man in the desert. That thirsty man is so dumb that he's throwing away that water without drinking a drop. Vijayaji wants to add something? Yes, please.
One small thought comes.
Yes, Ji.
Um, Initially, when we train some people, no, we will not give them any feedback. We will just let
Hmm.
them speak and do whatever they want.
Okay.
At one point of time, they will stop, or they will
Hmm.
say, "Okay, what should I do? Whether did I do right or wrong?" So that time,
Ah,
I used to say, when you clean an ink bottle, you try twice, thrice, four times, still all the things come out. It takes
hmm.
four times, but the fifth time, when you see through the bottle, no matter whether his water is there or not, it still gives the same clarity.
Okay.
So something like that, what you just told, no, no, the first chapter, he
Hmm.
keeps on shedding all the colors of him,
He
and
sheds his
then
color. He shows his color, and
all the
Krishna is
guna,
observing it, isn't it?
like waiting till the third wash, fourth wash goes, and then once
Okay.
he's
Okay.
tired of it and the clarity sets in, he starts just as you
Actually,
said, gunas that I
yes.
mean, I would say degraded things get out slowly. Then you come to your pause.
Yeah, but this is something which we have. Do we have the luxury of time every time that or we are in Krishna? Are we in Krishna's position? Is the most important question. Everywhere. Means not in the training atmosphere, which Vijayaji has given a very practical everyday, means from her training experience where she has trained so many people, she's giving that aspect. The training scenario is definitely important, but I'm saying about even non-training. Let's say we are we say we meet friends. We met friends who are probably not in the same wavelength. I mean, there was a friend of mine whose status only is his hand like this saying no surrender. how can a dialogue happen? Here we are talking about surrender all the time to Krishna, and another person says no surrender. His bike has a tattoo, godless or something like that. It is written. Another friend is there is no God or something like that. But how do we get into a dialogue? And is a human dialogue possible in such a place? That is my question. People of opposite perspectives, because
It's
nowadays it is
very
very
difficult,
easy to.
Shishtuji.
Yes, it
When
is
such
difficult.
people you encounter, especially the younger generation, what I find for them, there
Hmm.
is no God. These are all, false things which because
Yeah.
you are a failure yourself, you are all blaming it on God and destiny and blah, blah. This is
Okay.
what they talk. So
Yeah.
I guess their time has not come. They are not ready. Like, for example, 15 years ago, I started reading the Bhagavad Gita, and the first chapter only I was like tired because Arjuna was only whining and complaining. And I said, if this is the Bhagavad Gita, I don't want to read it. So I never
Ah,
read it for the
yeah.
next 10 years. And first time when
Oh,
I engaged with you in
okay.
2020, December 2020, that is the first time I got a real perspective of the Bhagavad Gita. Though my mother knew, but she never
Ji.
also told me because she told me you're not ready, Alpana.
Ha, ha. Ji, ji. So that is where if the dialogue had happened earlier, maybe it would have happened earlier, isn't it, Ji?
Yes, yes.
Yes, isn't it? And that is exactly like what that is what because each of us we have to first before we go into the divine dialogue of Krishna, we should first probably get ready with what is our human dialogues which are taking place in our day-to-day life. I think Alpana madam just shared some very nice anecdotal experience of a mother-son dialogue. Mother knew the Gita, but daughter did not receive for some reason. We are not blaming anybody. Nobody is at fault. This is we must never. First thing is we are not judges of neither a reality show or live show. We are not sitting and giving marks to anybody or judging anybody. Things happen in the world. We will understand later in the Gita if Krishna or even Sri Aurobindo has described certain things and we cover it, we might be able to exactly specifically understand why certain things in our life happen. But in our regular dialogues, as Alpana ji said, it's very difficult to have dialogues with somebody. Oh, this is not and it is so easy in today's day to shut off people, isn't it? To cut out people from your life because we are now, though we are so connected with each other, we are just earlier days. I remember I used to go to my friend's house and call out their names loudly, and when nobody responds, you understand your friend is not there. Now, if you go and sit with your friend outside, also there's no dialogue. You are sitting, there are six friends together. You have just met randomly by over a message without even calling anybody. They say hi, shake hands, and then everybody's on their phone. This is something very interesting. This person shows this reel, another person shows another news, but there is no dialogue taking place at all, and this degradation of what we can say human communication is leading to severe consequences because dialogue is not there. There is lack of empathy, and people are not having empathy, and they are searching for different ways to fulfill that void inside, and that void is the lack of empathy which takes place in dialogues. There is a term in psychology which is called confirmation bias. Is anybody aware of this? Confirmation bias. Yes, anybody?
No.
If you want, just it is the tendency. If I just search the first result that pops up, it is a tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms or supports one's prior beliefs or values. A bias which is there inside of people, which makes people listen to only things that are confirming one's new ideas or one's thoughts only. It's like you're going on a road. You want to turn right, and the road is turning right or left. So you stop to somebody who is probably a local. You say, I want to go to this place. Can I go right? He says, no, go left. You say, thank you, I'll go right then. And that person goes ahead. This is a confirmation bias. Normally, everybody does not do that so easily, but in life, this does happen. Has anybody come across this confirmation bias while you're talking to somebody with something and that person is not willing to listen to you? The person is just speaking what they think. Yes, anybody?
Yes, Shushruth sir, every day I have this problem with my own daughters. When I'm trying to tell them something to not do or not do, they just
Are
want
they
to
having
hear
the
what
same
is
problem
in
with you,
their
Ji?
mind.
Alpana Ji? If we ask from
Yes.
them, they
But
will
I
say
was
they have
not
to.
so argumentative with my mother because we
Okay.
were a different generation, I guess. This is the
Okay.
generation Z or Alpha.
Ah.
I don't know what now they call.
Ah.
So they are
Okay.
again
Ji-
back to Alpha. But this is
But
what they just want to hear. They want their mother
okay.
to confirm what they want to do finally by talking.
Yeah.
And my elder one is a lawyer. So you know the way she argues. I am
Okay, Alpana
incapable.
Ji. Okay, but my
I'm
question
incapable.
is, yes, yes. My question is, do they think you have a confirmation bias?
Yeah, they may think that way. Yes.
They may
Now
think
that
that.
I hear this terminology, I'm suspecting that they are understanding it that way only.
So it is like two ways, no? But 6 and 9. The person standing on the other side says it's 6. The other person says it's 9. Who is correct? That is a big question, isn't it?
Yes, true. Absolutely.
And and dialogues cannot take place when there is a confirmation bias. There is one more problem which happens when a confirmation bias goes on. It is called gaslighting. You don't allow the other person's view at all, and it becomes there's no dialogue taking place. Means ordinary human dialogues does not occur only. Means I see, I did this, I did that. No, no, I was wanting to tell you. No, 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 this is what I did. This is how it is. I have a wonderful green t-shirt, and I'm just the person says, see, I wanted to share. Yeah, did you like that green t-shirt? No, but I wanted to share something. Well, this person is still stuck on it. A friend of mine, I remember, his head was only about cars. And some of my friends were very worried. How is this guy? Because now we are going to finish our college. We are all going to go in different directions. This person is likely to be remaining here only. How is he going to move forward? That was the biggest worry among some of our close friends who cared a lot about him. We have to find some way to make him come out of it is what we had thought. So I went to have a discussion and I tried to speak to him we took him out to a restaurant and he and I, that's all. And at least this was long time ago. Today nobody goes out just like that without any agenda. But that time it was very fun. And I just tried talking to him for nearly 10-15 minutes. He kept shaking his head, just that, and he did not want to talk anything. Then I thought, let us see if his emotional aspect. So I just told about a problem, something my sister is going through this. He said, "यार वो गाड़ी मस्त है," and he started talking about some car again. That was the point I realized it is not going inside. Whatever is being told, it is not entering at all. Who will say this vehicle has this specification? It got first car of the year award because of its tolerance level. He started going on as if I clicked on a button of specifications of a vehicle. And that is in response to my statement of my sister having a injury in her leg. A ligament injury, I told. She's now recovering from it, and physiotherapy is going on. I wanted to see if any empathy comes out from that side. No empathy at all. He says, "Yeah, this vehicle is mine." Then it's like there was no point. At that point, I stopped spending my energy, and that was the last time I tried. Because here, what is going to happen is if dialogue is not taking place at all, either side, we should not be recipients. We must not be recipients of such confirmation biases, nor should we be making it because we have ego. All of us have ego, and it is not a good thing, and we have to remove it through sadhana. Slowly, slowly, it will come out slowly. Krishna, if you understand, Krishna is your Raja, Krishna is your Guru, Krishna is your director, Krishna is everything, then he will know how to take it out from you. But we must recognize that this aspect of ankara is there all the time. Unknowingly, this shadow creeps in, and we have to understand. We have to sometimes make friends with it also. The mother has said, ego is a helper, ego is a bar. Sometimes it will allow us to move a little bit ahead. A wild horse, you can tame it, something like that. But this aspect where we are going to have dialogues with people, when we have dialogues, we must be what we call the great Shrota. We must be ready to listen. We must be ready to have a dialogue. And that is extremely important. Anybody would like to share your experience of a very good dialogue you've had with somebody, human dialogue, before we move into the divine dialogue of Krishna? What is the best dialogue you remember? It could be with your friend, it could be with a stranger, it could be anybody. What was the best dialogue you've ever had with anybody?
Gee,
If
I
you can
can
think
tell
of.
one.
Yes, Ji.
I don't know whether it's the best dialogue in the confirming
Okay.
the standards, but that dialogue changed me.
No, for you,
I know.
whatever is your standard, you have to, what nobody can tell it is not the best dialogue. For you, what is best is definitely Ji. Yes, please.
When I was 10 years, maybe I would have told early, 10 or 9 years, somehow my father wasn't there, so I was taken to this Christian missionary that
Okay.
meetings.
Okay.
And I started going, and my mother didn't like, she shouted, but I still stealthily was going there.
Okay.
My father got to know about it, and then
Hmm.
he didn't show any anger, but he came back and said, "What is that going on there?" So
Hmm.
I was telling him everything. He said, "Good, but I have some doubts. But it's better I read Bible as you rightly said. But why don't you also read Gita so that we can share things and understand?" So that is when he introduced Gita. I said, "It's
Wow.
what is this? Too much standards, and I can't read this. It's very high standard." Then he said, "Okay, fine. I'll give you one more book." That is where I
Hmm.
got to read Kannadasan's Arthamulla Indu which
Okay.
says
Oh,
about Hinduism and other things related to it. And then the moment I started reading it, and everything got disappeared. And suddenly I stopped one day. I didn't go. And
okay.
again, my father said, "What happened? Why did not you go?" But my mother were all very happy and they all shouted at my father for asking me that. He said, "No, no, we should know the reason. Why previously you went and why you did not go now?" I said,
Yeah.
"Previously I went because I felt like going. But after reading, something happened there which I didn't like." Then he again asked, "What was it?" Then, when I went there, they started talking ill about Krishna, stating everybody, whatever people say about his wives, blah,
Okay.
blah, and everything.
Okay.
I said, I am not against it. Whatever they say might be right, but not at all in a way that they said. They just
And how you were?
insulted a god. Okay,
Okay.
insulted someone and also mother. I had a mother's picture in Bible. When it fell
Hmm.
down, again they started mocking. I said, "Appa,
Hmm.
I've never done mocking to anybody. And I can't stand the way they mocked at something. Even if they think that is wrong, this is not the human value they did." So I did not go. And my
Wow.
father said,
And
"Okay, if you felt that way, go ahead." Because
wow.
we
Wow.
had this dialogue, because he approved me going there and also approved me not going there, understanding what I wanted to tell, this dialogue changed my entire life.
Wow, wow, Vijayaji, so beautiful it is. See, this is such a beautiful. It is. Why do you think that even for a moment that it may not be the best dialogue? It is the best dialogue probably in the world also. We can call it the best dialogue ever, which is a dialogue between a father and a daughter. And what was your age, Vijayaji?
I was fifth standard, G, maybe 10 or 9
Okay,
or 10.
9 or 10, at 10 years old. You see, even at the age of 10, people have the inner voice which is guiding them. Means every single so this Vijayaji, when your father spoke to you,
Mm.
because he has experience, because he has lived his life. Was he a spiritual person, Vijayaji, your father?
Actually, yes, G. He doesn't
Yeah,
go to
okay.
temple much,
No,
but
that is
he
different
talks.
choice, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Means he
But he
was
talks.
interested in the, all right.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes,
why
G.
I asked you, because a lot of people when they start means reading something about spirituality also, they start giving sermons about spirituality. They start
He,
talking about all of it. Now you see a father and son, no? Father and daughter here, father and daughter. Father has all adhikar to give a sermon to the daughter that way. If the daughter wants to listen, is many times that is not looked at. But here, the father is not even patronizing. He is not trying to, force anything. He's allowing the child to experience and understand the truth for herself, creating what we can say a conducive atmosphere, creating that atmosphere for dialogue. And I think Vijayji, what you talked about, no, rather than grooming that mind or making that mind ready, I think, don't you think we create the atmosphere, dialogues will happen, Vijayji?
exactly, G. Because my mother experience, I mean, gave me a different experience. I didn't even
Right.
speak with her. I didn't tell her at all. Because I
Yeah.
read this Bible, that is new version and old version. I finished reading in English and Tamil by that age, whereas I didn't
Wow.
touch Gita. My mother
Wow.
was thought I became a Christian at all. And it's a,
Hmm.
but my father had that patience to listen and also
Yeah.
gave me. And finally, one day I asked, before his death, few years back, I asked him, "How did you do it?" He said, "I know you. You always won't do if I say if something to do. I always, but I know, but finally you will come back to it. So I just gave you some
He
time for you
wanted
to think."
he wanted you to understand certain things for yourself, and we would focus on specifically the aspect of the father having such knowledge, such experience, and yet not imposing that experience on the child. asking, I have some doubts to the child. He says, I will read this book, I have not read it. See, and you look at the curiosity, and maybe he may have read before the Bible, or he may not have read the Bible before. He says, I want to understand, I want to learn. And the dialogue was possible, isn't it? Wavelength was same, isn't it, Vijayaji? At
Definitely,
least
I'm shocked.
you felt the wavelength of your father to be the same as yours at the age of 10. A grown-up father who has so much experience. He is having the same wavelength, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Ji. Every time it is the way he's when I said I'm not going to school because I'm very
hmm.
underperforming, he said it's okay. Don't go to
Ah,
school. It's okay.
no.
Let's
So
let's have
this
fun reading newspapers.
let's have fun. This is what happens among friends. The fun comes in, and when if we remember the fun moments with our friends, I don't think we ever plan those fun moments. They happen on their own. It's like
That's
fun in
true,
this,
Ji.
like love is in the air, fun is also in the air when there is true friendship or true beautiful. These wavelengths are same. So probably, maybe we can. Means, sometimes you can have a dialogue and you don't have to get a conclusion. Also, isn't it? I have one opinion, another person has an opinion. It's not a fight, isn't it? It's not a contest. Whose opinion is going to dominate another person and who is going to win? It is never a contest. Maybe in business deals it's required, but there also business deals fall apart afterwards if compromises are made and understanding is not there. So this aspect of a human dialogue, I think Vijayaji gave a beautiful example. Anybody would like to just add on before we move to the next one? If any example of best dialogue? It's a very difficult after Vijayaji's example. I feel I was having two, three examples in my head. They have gone because I can just imagine a young Vijayaji at 10 years old with a father and a father having this dialogue. But my question is, would we not want to have this dialogue with our, say, siblings, our own family members, our own friends, or not necessarily friends, why even strangers also, isn't it?
Definitely, Ji. When we do it, people talk properly, people respond properly, and we also become matured. We don't get anger that easily.
Even if the other
Yes.
person does not listen to you.
Truly, Ji, you keep moving away from that place without any
You
anger.
move away. You okay,
Yeah,
move away because in the sense you'll move away from the dialogue only?
no, no. We are trying to speak, in my experience, when we are trying to speak, when the other person is not listening, even after
Your
understanding,
voice
or even
something
after
went down, Ji.
listening.
The speaker or something, you please
Yeah,
reconnect.
yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah, now it's good, Ji.
Yeah. So when someone else is not able to get what you say, or even getting anger at what you are talking, sometimes I felt silent. I just keep smiling and then go away. There's one example. Sorry if I'm taking time. An elderly person. If you're okay, I can give this
Yeah, if
example.
it's not too long, we can go ahead. Yes, Ji.
Yes, elderly person in a family always says that Kariva says to give dana to ants, so that there'll be you will be able to feed a lot of ants. You will at least get to feed 1 crore ants. So it's a big punya. But when I heard it, I didn't feel good. I just said maybe you're right, sir. But one doubt I have is, if is this the way whenever the food is wasted, you shout at people saying, why can't you cook on the right amount? It is getting wasted and we have to throw it to dogs. But if ant is is a jiva, a dog also is a jiva. How many times have you cooked something good and put it to the dog? It's not that way, right? So that means you are stuck somewhere. And then the person got very angry and said, because you are reading this, you are doing all that. I said, yes, maybe you are right. I didn't understand. This much only I could understand. Anyways, I will try to understand. I just walked away from that place.
Yeah,
I'm not telling I'm right, but I couldn't
yes,
find any conversation going on there,
absolutely.
so I kept quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is quietude. Maunam sarvartha sadhanam, agreeing to disagree. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree and move on. That is true. But this aspect of human dialogues, if we can establish, why is it important? Because if we are able to go to what is the right ideal of what human conversations can take place, then divine aspects manifest. Dialogues become divine. Divine is around us, isn't it, at all times? This much we are all confident about. We have all experienced the divine presence. The divine is then easily able to work through the instruments. It automatically becomes what Krishna has called the Vak Tapaha. Because Tapashcharya is, Krishna says that also has the guna stamp because of the, I call it illegal software installation inside all human beings. We didn't ask for it, we didn't sign terms and conditions, we didn't say we agree to terms and then install, but everybody got installed. This three gunas got installed into everybody. Krishna says, see, this is a manufacturing defect. To update it, you go into the next software, which is what? Gunatita. But till then, we will have to have this Rajas, Tamas, Sattva game going on at all times. That way, even our tapashcharya, when our spiritual sadhana takes place, it has a stamp of Rajas, it has a stamp of Tamas, it has a stamp of Sattva. All three have their pluses and have many minuses also. But Sattva is said to be the best. What is the ideal, which is best human dialogue? Like that, there is the tapashcharya also, which is called the Sattvic Tapa. In that, there is Sharira, Mana, and Mani or Vak Tapa, the penance of speech. If we practice this, we will be able to experience. Dialogue does not only have to be spoken by words. Do we agree that dialogues can happen through eyes also, through gestures also? When people talk, animals talk, have dialogue with human beings also, isn't it? Without knowing the language. That dialogue is something which is a divine dialogue which can take place. And when this dialogue takes place, great things can happen. I had very much, there was a point in my life where I began to doubt the power of words. I felt, what is this? Everything is only talk. Talk is not going to change the world. Everything is quite hopeless. Words are not going to make any difference. The sorry doesn't make a dead man alive. What is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen by words only. And poetry, I was very disappointed with my own poetry. I remember talking about my poems to myself only, and these are, I'm just giving birth to stillborn children because these poems are not going to manifest at all. What is the use of all this poetry? What is the use of all this ideal? What is the purpose? And my passwords were also changed. No more poems. That was the password of all my accounts. And I had stopped. I said, not writing poems. But then it is something like you cannot, somebody who has tendency to write. It is like somebody who has diarrhea will run to the bathroom, something like that. The inspiration did come when I heard some sad news of somebody trying to attempt suicide, and that really made me very disturbed. Though I didn't believe in the power of poem, I felt very bad on the inside. So I said, let us just express it. Let us write something, pen it down. Let us write something there. So I wrote suicide, don't go that side, and I wrote a poem on which was trying to, spread an awareness. I thought at least if I'm not talking on phone to people through just let me have a dialogue through my poem about no awareness of suicide, no that it should not be done. And I got a random message, I am going to suicide. That was the explosion inside of my head only, and I did not understand what is going to happen now. Then I frantically tried to have a dialogue with that person, but that person kept refusing calls, and that phone went off. Anybody, what will you do here in such a situation?
I think I would have just said ki bhai, that person has got his own destiny and you have tried to do your best, so leave the
Yeah.
rest to God. This would have
Ah,
been my take on all this. Yeah,
yes.
I'm very optimistic, so he will do. I have done my good deeds in good faith. Everything from my heart I have done. Abhi consequence is not in my hands, only karma is
Yeah.
in my hands, so
Okay,
I
that's
leave it to
beautiful.
him.
Yes, yes, but unfortunately, I was not yet in that state, and it was like after a big break, I wrote a poem, and I said, "What is this? Does that mean I should stop writing poems? What is this indication of God only that I should not write poetry? What is going on?" And I tried frantically to catch that person from this person, mutual friends, friends, and somehow I had found somebody and still didn't find it. After 2.5 days, I learned that person is doing all right. Then I breathed happily. Ki, oh, that person, my poem did not cause him to. I thought he misinterpreted my poem only and went ahead, is what I got scared. Because dialogues, when individual, now see, Alpanaji gives such a simple aspect. Leave it to God. If you leave it to God, you're not having any worry, isn't it? You utter your dialogue, you speak something and leave it to the divine. If you leave it to the divine, divine is going to take care of everything else. What are you worried about? Krishna has said, isn't it? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. He says, don't worry, I will liberate you. He says so simply, sarva dharman parityaje mamekam sharanam raj. He says, all your dharmas, all your moral constructs, all your understandings, all your ideologies, all your ideas, everything you forget and surrender to me, to the divine Krishna. He says, I will liberate you, I will free you. So that is important where you cease to be the doer in the dialogue also. Because if you think you are the doer, again there's a problem. But again, understand one very nice thing happened was that person texted me and later on told me that it was the poem that prevented him from uh, ending his life that day, and I was very much relieved. Plus, I felt there's a simple aspiration also from one place can have a value somewhere else. And best dialogue we can say is the dialogue we can have with our Krishna only or with our divine. And if we can see the divine everywhere, as Sri Aurobindo saw in Alipur, that Vasudevam, who is like Vasudevam Sarvam, that is so beautiful. If you can see, you will start enjoying. The Sant Tukaram, the great poet of Maharashtra, he said, wherever I go, there you are my companion. How many of us will enjoy if we see Krishna in our everyday lives? Anybody? How
All
would
of
your
us,
lives be? All of us,
all of us
yes.
would enjoy definitely.
Will we teach him Gita? Will we teach him spirituality? Will we teach him great ideologies? Will we start trying to impose our thoughts on him, or we will like to have a dialogue and slowly, as Krishna slowly gave Arjuna little by little wisdom, no? He even went on to
Yeah.
give the most Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Midam Uttamam, the greatest and the most purest and the finest knowledge. That also was received. And that can come, no? To us. But for that, we'll have to first see
Yes.
the divine in everybody. And again, to see that, if we see the divine, we will not try to boss over anybody. We will not try to dominate anybody. We will not try to impose something on anybody. Even if we want something good to be done, as Alpanaji said, isn't it? There, I had a problem because I took ownership of the poem I wrote. And I took ownership of the poem, so I was taking ownership of the consequence also. Instead, if poem came by inspiration, let it do what it has to do, isn't it? I'm no more bound by it. Like that of our little actions, because every word that we speak can become an arrow, or it can be a beautiful flower if we choose. And I think Krishna has said, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He does not mind that all words have to be this type of flowery language only. Some people by default cannot speak flowery language. They don't have to speak, give this sweet talk, but they must have love and empathy in the talk, isn't it? If love and empathy is there, Krishna says, don't give me flower, don't give me fruit, give me some spicy mixture also, I will take it. I don't mind, but offer it with love. So let us aspire to have divine dialogues because when divine dialogues take place, we have seen how a Yuddha of Kurukshetra becomes a point when two people are coming together in a dialogue where the divine is the head. Greatest of great dialogues take place like the Bhagavad Gita, which happened then and never happened again. Does anybody know Krishna could not tell the Gita again? This statement, Krishna also couldn't tell the Gita again. How many of you agree? The same Bhagavad Gita. Yes. Shashiji?
I I think somewhere I remember, I think you said it that he was asked to repeat something and he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
I couldn't
I cannot.
repeat
His, I
it.
was in that state
Yeah.
of consciousness. Arjuna, you
Yes.
were in that receptivity. Yoga yukto mat.
Yeah.
I was in that
Yeah.
yoga. I was in that time, in that connection. This dialogue will not happen again.
Yeah.
How precious Gita's dialogue by Krishna himself says this dialogue cannot take place again because this Arjuna and this Krishna, the wavelengths have matched so well that the supreme divine or the Paramatman is only flowing in that Vani and in that conversation. That is why everybody says Rajan Sansmrutya Samvadam Idam Adbhutam. This brilliant, I mean, this great dialogue is going to be remembered again and again because that can, a memorable dialogue can take place. Sometimes we go through lifetimes without having a single memorable dialogue with some of our loved ones. And the problem of we all being humans is our lifetimes are limited and not in our control. We do not know how long life we have, but we can ensure the quality of our life is good. And one of the important things for a good quality life is good quality dialogues. And if we can have good dialogues, who knows what magic can happen? Look at Vijayaji sharing about her father. Vijayaji, is your father with you today?
No, Ji, he passed away last year due to cancer.
But he is here now, no, in the class,
Ah, definitely, Ji.
isn't it? And that dialogue is again an immortal dialogue, isn't it?
Ever, ever, yeah.
And that dialogue cannot be repeated also, isn't it?
No way. He
The
says
Desha
himself,
will
I
not
don't even
come.
remember.
That Vijayaji will also not be present now, no, for that dialogue. And yet she is frozen, and that moment is frozen forever, isn't it?
True.
Like that, we have so many such frozen moments which we have to really aspire to manifest in our lives. And when we do that, we are going to experience that joy. So Krishna did tell Arjuna the Gita again because Arjuna said, Krishna, in the fight of Kurukshetra, I think I have missed out some of the great gems which you parted in the Bhagavad Gita. Please tell that to me again. Krishna says, I can tell that to you, but it will not be the same. That moment has gone. That moment was there, and that moment cannot come again. And he gives another version of the Gita, which is the Anu Gita. That is also very beautiful if you wish to read. It's 300 shlokas in that. But this, let us all take a aspiration that let us try to have divine dialogues. But let us not have agendas. Let us not try to force something onto somebody else. Let us allow Krishna to take place, to Krishna to allow the divine dialogue to take place. Let us not advise Krishna how he should be. If we see Krishna somewhere in an old man with a big beard, we'll say, hey, please shave off your beard, then only I'll have a dialogue. No, no. Or if Krishna is small, Balarupa, like Vijay is 10-year-old, will we say, no, well, what is this Krishna going to tell me? Or what is this person? What is this person's view? This person's point of view is nothing. I have the experience. I have so much more. Are we going to get that pride? I think we better not. By nature, there's a chance we might get it. Huh? This person, who is he? What is this person going to tell? This thought may come anytime into us. But let us remember that hey, this is a shadow. Let the shadow be behind us, no? At least when we turn sunwards, the shadow will always be behind. If we put our back only to the sun, then the shadow will fall in front. And that shadow of Ahankar can make everything dark in our lives. Let us keep the shadows behind. Let us hold brilliant dialogues. Let us probably, if today's Gita talks, let us all resolve because we do not know what is our role in Krishna's Leela. He has n absolutely n number of chakras rotating at each time. One action, you cannot say this action will lead to this consequence. We cannot. It is so deep. The karmic flux is so connecting every single one of us. You will not even know what you want, where you want, how you have to get it. And things still happen, and Krishna gets everything done. We just have to be available. And because when we are available, then Krishna's dialogue with us will begin. So I think with this today's session, we are ready to conclude. If anybody wishes to ask or share something, you are welcome, or else we just conclude the session with a Shanti mantra. Yes, please. Yes, anybody? If not, we conclude with the Shanti mantra. All right then. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम
Hari Om Krishna.
see you next Wednesday hopefully Yes,
Hari
please.
Om, sir.
Yes.
Thank
Hari Om,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, ji.
Hari Om
Namaste.
ji. Thank you ji.
Namaste,
Hari
ji.
Om, Hari Om,
Proceed.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om,
Hari Om. Hari
Hari
Om, ji.
Om, Om. Hari
Hari
Om,
Om.
Sati. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari
Thank
Om,
you ji.
Arvind. Namaste. Hari Om, ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om,
Hari
ji.
Om.